What's up YouTube, this is Andrew from GNR Tutorials, and today my sister let me start a series on the channel, and this is kind of like a little preface to the entire series. And in this series I'm going to be teaching you how to use a program called Scratch. Scratch is a very interesting program to use. If you've never used it before, it's really fun to learn how to use. It's basically a very simplified version of coding for games, animations, automated like GIFs, or not GIFs, I don't know, like just animated little, you can have your own characters. That you see in the right corner we have our like a cat, and that's the character. It's called a sprite. And what we're going to do is teach you how to use the program. So as you see, we have our sprite here. These right here, we see where my cursor is right here next to the little picture of the cat. It says sprite 1, scripts 0. Scripts are basically the code. So when all these different options, as I scroll through here, that's the code. And different codes do different things, and you can have many different codes to do complicated, complex things like a game or whatever you want to do. Like, no, a game. You can draw your own sprite. If you click right here, you can draw a circle and hit OK. And now I have another character, and then you can edit the code for this character. We're gonna go ahead and delete this one because we're gonna start off nice and simple. You can choose a new sprite, and they have preset up ones here. You can see animals, fantasy, letters, people, things, and transportation. Yeah, so you can select something from those, and then you can get help. You get a surprise. It picks a what the heck? It picked a random one, and it gave me like a weird tie-dye giraffe. Okay, I've never used that one actually before. So there you go. You got your cat. And then you got different costumes. They start you off 2 different costumes for the cat. One where, if you look in the picture over here to your right, when I click the second costume, look at his feet. So he goes to like a running motion. So if you were to make him go through those really fast, it would look like he's running. So to start off, we're going to learn the like basic scripts. So we're going to make this cat walk from the top left corner over to the top right. And to do that, we're going to want to start off by, we want to pick like a key that allows you to move to the right. So when you want someone to move to the right, you usually would think right arrow key. So we're going to go to our control keys. These are under control keys. That's all the things that are like your main scripts that control everything. Like when the green flag is pressed, that's that green flag up in the top right. Then you got like when space key is pressed, but you can select any key. You got when stage is clicked, that's like the background. You can make it wait 1 second and then do something. You can make it forever do this, repeat something 10 times or unlimited times. Broadcast, like when you broadcast something, that's like basically it broadcasts a message to the other scripts, and then you can set it up for the other scripts, like when it receives this message, do something. So it's pretty cool. And then there's like forever if, and then you put like stuff in the boxes. That will come later in different like more complex tutorials once you guys get more familiar with the program. So to start off, we want him to move to the right. So we're going to want to do the key where you can select different keys. So we're going to do when right arrow key is pressed, we're going to drag that out to our scripts. Make sure you're under scripts, not backgrounds and not sounds. Or actually, sorry, make sure you're under your sprite 1 over here. Make sure you're under your character. Just do the basic character, and make sure you can like see costumes, scripts, and you're going to want to make sure you do when, and then go through your keys, pick right arrow, drag that onto your scripts. Now when the right arrow key is pressed, as you see right now, when I press right arrow and you look in the picture, or look at your big sprite on the right, top right, he did nothing because we have nothing for motion, looks, sound, pen, like drawing, operators, sensing, or variables. So we want him to do something when we press the right arrow. So now we're going to go to motion. That's what allows the character to move in any way you see. So you can have it, you can have him point somewhere. You can have him point in a direction, like degrees, like 90 degrees. He's currently in a 90-degree angled direction looking to the right. You can make him turn, you can make him rotate clockwise, counterclockwise, but we're going to just make him move steps. So you can choose a certain amount of steps. So we're gonna you click and drag the script under your main control script, which is the when right arrow key is pressed, and then the next step or next command. So when picture it like a chemical reaction. So when the orange control key is pressed, whatever's under it is continued to go through. So when I press right arrow, it's gonna move 10 steps. So watch the guy in the top right now. When I press the right arrow, as you see, he's moving. It doesn't look like steps yet, but that's 10 geometrical steps. I don't know. It's moving 10 steps. So we want him to, when I press it once, that's all he moves. He moves like the smallest bit. So we want it to, when I press the right arrow, make him move a little farther. We can either make him move like 20 steps. You can click on the number and change and type in your own number. Or, because if you just change the number, he'll like, watch, if I put like move 50 steps and I put the right arrow, he just jumps. But we don't want him to just jump. We want him to actually look like he's moving, not just teleporting to that spot like 50 steps ahead. So what we're going to do is change it back to 10 steps. And now he's back to the small little movements. And we're actually going to go back to the control tab. This is also for just controls of basically its main controls that control like motion, looks, it like affects it all. So now when I press right arrow, it says repeat 10, and it repeats 10 times whatever's inside its box. So currently inside the repeat 10, we have move 10 steps. So it's going to move 10 steps 10 times because it's repeating it 10 times. If you didn't see how I did that, all I did was it was like this, and then all I did was you drag the repeat, or I'll do it again so you can see. When I go to the side, go over the control, click drag, and then you'll see when I put it over the move 10, see how it goes around it? It gets bigger to fit the move 10, and then the move 10 goes inside. So now look at our character over here to the top right. When I push the right arrow, you notice how he glides? That's what we want. We don't want him to teleport. We want him instead it's moving 100 steps pretty much. 10 times 10, 100. But it's moving it in a fluent looking motion. So now, I just keep dragging him back. We want him to, remember he had two costumes, one where he was walking, one where he was running. Well, we want him to now change between feet, or like the walking and running, because it was going to make him look like he's sprinting across the page. So now you want to go over to your looks tab in the top left. You have control, motion, looks, sound, sensing operators, variables, pen. We want to go under the looks tab. Now you want to go under, you see hide, show, size, set size. You can change the size of them. You can make them say things. But that will come in a later tutorial. I'll make another video for you guys. So we want him to change costume. You can either do, here's the thing, if you do switch costume to, like, you can switch to costume and then you pick between the costumes you have. Currently we only have 2. But if I just put switch to costume 2 in here, all he's going to do is switch to costume 2, but he's never going to change back. We want it just to cycle through the costumes 10 times. So we're going to put the next costume tab within the repeat 10. Now you may be asking, why did we put it inside the repeat 10? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because if I push the right arrow once, remember like I said, whatever's inside of something, that's what happens. So if I put the next costume outside of the repeat 10, and I push the right arrow key, it's only going to change the costume to the running guy once. Well, we want it to cycle through. So therefore I have to put it inside, so it repeats changing costumes and cycles throughout the whole way it's walking. So now you'll see in the top right, when I move the character, he runs. It does really go really fast, and there's ways to fix that, but for your first movement, it's actually really cool. So it's good for right now. So now you can just mess around, basically just getting different movements. And I want you guys to like start with just trying to make your character move in different directions too. So now you see when I push the right arrow, you saw him. He goes to the right. And you guys, if you guys didn't follow the script, you can just pause the video and copy the script right here. This is the only script we're using. It's really simple. And you can actually right click on it and you can duplicate it. So if I duplicate it, you don't really need to do that right now. Don't worry about that. But now we just you just completed your first Scratch tutorial. So now you guys are on your way to starting to create motion for your sprite. Subscribe, because we will be continuing with the series of different tutorials. Make sure you comment down below what you want to learn next. But I'm also going to eventually teach you guys how to make a game. That's something that a lot of people want to know how to do. But that might come later after these beginner tutorials, because this is real simple. But next, you guys just have to tell me what you guys want to learn. But also, I can just provide tutorials. So thanks, and make sure you subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next tutorial.